What's happening, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Ruse Reviews, and today we are chatting about Hide a Key by Rawlins. So, let's get into this. Okay, welcome back to the channel, and we're in with another magic review. This one is a little bit cool and a little bit different, and it's by our buddy Rawlins. If you don't know who Chris is, he's had various items reviewed on this channel before. Brilliant mind reader, brilliant entertainer. But this is Chris's first foray into the magic world in terms of releases. This is a close-up magic piece with keys. These are the keys in question. These two keys are, this is my house key, this is how I'm currently keeping it, but this is Hide a Key. Essentially, it is a gimmicked key system that allows you to make keys vanish and reappear very visually and very easily, all with the use of this gimmicked system. Now, if any of you know my background in magic and what I currently do, I'm a bit of a coin magician. I have 2 releases out with Copeland coins that can be found up here or in the bio, and some work with the 1914 as well on coin magic. And the actual gimmickry of these keys is very similar. In fact, it is pretty much identical to a coin gimmick. I won't obviously give away what that gimmick is, but if you know what a turtle is, a term coined by Penn and Teller, then you will know what I am on about. But this is a turtle that will help make a key vanish or reappear. This can happen in your own hands, this can happen in your spectator's hands. Very, very visual. This has actually been sat on my neck lanyard for a little while now, and I put these on an S-Bina clip like this so it can easily come on and off. But let me just show you a quick visual representation of what this effect is. So, I have here on my keyring 3 keys, a brass one, a sort of waffly one, and a silver one. Now, the waffly one in the middle is the hardest to get to because obviously it's sandwiched in the middle between the other 2. But if you watch, and like this, that one key actually vanishes. I don't know if you guys can see that on camera there, but it really does vanish. That leaves just 2 keys. And I can keep this here on my hand and show it, depending, and that other key, where it goes, up here. Have a look. Can you see that? Just there. There's the key. And that is essentially the most basic performance of Hide a Key you'll ever see in your life. So, very basic, very stripped down performance that, but I just wanted to show you how cool that visual is. You see 3 keys, you allow the keys to drop, and they become 2 keys. This can be done in your hands, as I say, or the spectator's hands. It's great in the spectator's hand. They can have their hand flat like this, so you can show, if you want to make a key appear, for example, you can have these 2 keys shown on their hand like this. You then place your hand over, or place their hand over it, sorry, open it up, and then there is 3 keys. At a moment's notice, you can give them a shake and see, I'll get that right up close to the camera there, you can see 1 key has indeed gone. And that just leaves you with 2 that can be shown all the way around, and you can make that key vanish or reappear anywhere you like. Here's a little look at the packaging. You can see that there. Nice basic packaging. This is great. I hate it when there's so much packaging for magic tricks. This is all you need. It's a tiny little box that says Hide a Key on it. Inside, I'll hide the QR code, but there's a QR code at the top here, and you get the keys that you need in here. Super, super simple. I've actually been carrying these around for a little while now. These have been sitting on my neck chain, and honestly, they just blend in. They sit there, they're all set up, they're ready to go. You get a spare key, which is this one here. So this is the spare waffle key, Chris calls it, and I call it that as well. This is the spare waffle key, and then you also get another key, which is gimmicks, and then you get the turtle, which helps conceal the gimmickry of this key system. But that is a spare key, so you can literally load this anywhere. In the instructions, which I'll get into in a little bit, in the instructions, Chris talks about loading this into people's pockets, loading it into people's wallets. There's a super smart idea by Noel Quarter, which is worth the price of the download alone. Indeed, this trick alone, I think I'm going to use it for other things as well, not just keys. There's a lot of great stuff in the instructions. And the instructions themselves are over 2 hours. So there's a lot of breakdown. In fact, Chris goes through a lot of how the prototypes were made. So there's bags of prototypes of these keys, then the process that he went through to get these made, different manufacturers, different cutting processes, and ending up on something that is durable. It feels good. Do you know what I mean? When you have a prop in your hand and it feels good. It's not overly shiny. I mean, it probably shines a lot more on camera, but it's not overly shiny compared to other keys. And I think because I've added this key here, which is just a brass Timpson's key, which is dirty, these will obviously patina up as well. So at some point, these will get slightly more grimy and dirty, which will all add to the character of these keys. They've been knocking around in your pocket or whatever. These will definitely get more tarnished as they get older, which is great in my opinion. As just mentioned, that tutorial is over 2 hours long. You get Chris breaking down everything, as I say, through how he's made it and the process, to the routines, to multiple live performances of him in the real world, doing this for real people. And then you have a little section with Noel Quarter and another chap, I forget his name, and Chris in their secret location, deep in the heart of Hounslow, which you would know. And they're there and they're just jamming ideas, they're chatting ideas. There's cool ideas with quiver, having these keys placed inside a quiver and pulling it out and having one key vanish and other things going on. I've played around with a few ideas myself, but the basic routine I just showed you, I've performed a few times now, where I load a key somewhere and make that one key vanish and it appears. So strong, super strong. Like, don't sort of negate the simplicity of an effect like this. It's a really cool effect called Kickback that Chris includes, where you have all the keys set up, everything you need ready to go on your keyring, and you take one of the keys off like this, you give it to the spectator, ask it to place it in their pocket, and then you just show that you have 2 keys left. They place out their hand, you place the 2 keys in their hand, they cover their hand, and with a snap, that one key jumps back right in the middle of the other 2. With a little blow like this, you can see that one key completely vanishes again and it will reappear back in their pockets. You can then take the key, place it back on the keyring, and you're now good to go for another performance. Super nice, very workable routine. There's a really cool bit in the download where Chris talks about put pocketing, where you put items into other people's trouser pockets, jackets, wallets, whatever. And as I mentioned, this cool idea by Noel Quarter is genius. If you guys want to load something into someone's pocket, you can have like an envelope with a prediction written inside. You give it to them, they place it into their pocket, they then take out the prediction, read it, and it's a forced item. And in that moment, you've loaded the key into their pocket, which is mind-blowing. Like I literally, that was worth the download alone for me, you know. Bless Chris, the instruction was amazing as well, but a little bit of information by Noel Quarter was very, very good indeed, and I'm going to be implementing it a lot. Getting the key into their wallet in the same method, very, very cool. So I could just chat here forever because it is one of those effects that is only limited by your imagination, and it's great because it gets the creative juices flowing. Now, when you first saw this project, you may have been a little bit confused, as I was, because Chris is a well-known mentalist, and he openly admits in this project that he is not a close-up magician. He doesn't go out performing these things regularly, and in fact he says, I'm not the best person to be teaching you this. I'm sure you guys will be able to come up with better ideas of your own and perform it better. And it's very, very humble of Chris to say that, because he performs it actually very well in all the performance footages. Footages, that's not a thing, in all the performance footage, but the fact that he's able to acknowledge that, okay, this isn't my bag, I'm putting something out there for you guys to get creative with, is great. It's refreshing, and I like that. I like that he's just been very open and transparent about it. Even in the trailer, you know exactly what you're getting. When I saw the trailer for it, I knew exactly what it was. I loved the idea of it, and I knew I'm going to add it in. I'm going to work it, and I have done. And it has been such a nice addition just to have on my keychain. I don't normally carry a lot of keys around with me. I have my house key and a few other bits, but the fact that this just sits on an S-Bina clip, so this is clips onto one part of my keychain, and that is good to go. All the time it sits there. Other key effects such as Craig Petty's, ooh, that's going to annoy me. Craig Petty's Keymaster, there we go. That obviously can sit on here as well, so you can have a load of keys here set up to do many different things. I think for me, this isn't something that I'd really do at a gig situation per se. I have actually come up with a routine for a professional working repertoire using these gimmicks, but I think this would be more of an EDC. because they're keys, because they're on you, because it's more of a relaxed situation, you just get your keys out, it feels like more of an EDC than something that I'll perform in a professional gigging environment. It sort of feels like at the end of a gig, you sat down with a client, you're having a drink, and they ask you to do one more thing. You can do something really cool with these, and it's quick. You know, you can make these routines super quick. The ones that he shows you in performance are literally what I've just shown you. Boom, key vanishes, it reappears. Boom, a key vanishes, appears here, jumps back to their pocket, you're good to go again. Super quick, super visual pieces of magic, which I love personally, because those moments, you know, those moments are what people remember. They don't always remember those long, drawn-out pieces of getting inside someone's heads. Of course, some will, but those visual moments really help cement you in someone's memory. It's a little offbeat. There's things that I know I've spoken to people about in the past, and they will just remember it because it was such a throwaway moment to me, but it was such a big thing to them because it was so quick and it happened so quick in their memory. So something like this is very, very handy just to have on your keyring. The actual keys themselves don't feel like house keys. So they don't actually, you can see this on the thing here, they sort of feel more like a lock key or a locker key or something like that, maybe like a bicycle chain or something like that, but nothing for like a house. This feels more like a house key, right? That's what house keys look like in the UK. This is more like something that you'd use for like a lock, like a safety box or something like that. Okay, so there's a lot of pattern that you can come up with the description of these keys. The actual quality of them is great. They're very, very durable. And the fact that, as I say, they're gonna get tarnished, scratched up, dinged, whatnot, it's gonna, you know, really add to the character of them. So I'm looking forward to using these more and more. Another point I should note, just before I end on this isn't a locking mechanism, okay? There are no magnets involved to lock this into place, and there's a very good reason for that. The get ready. The actual get ready to get into this effect is so much easier without a magnet in place. There's no chucking. Remember those coin unique days where you had to chuck out a penny? Just slamming it against your hand to be able to get this extra piece out. And there's none of that. Because this is not locking, because the natural movement of these keys does all the work for you. You do that and it nests and you can just show. All of that stuff is great. The fact that it's not locking is one of the reasons why I am invested in this. It's so easy to get into this from any given situation, and that's a big, big plus for me. Well done, Chris Rawlins. A brilliant addition, and well done for taking a step into the magic community with a close-up magic trick. That's got to take some guts. Thank you guys for watching. Go and grab a copy of Hide a Key. Links in the description below, and I'll see you all very, very soon. Ciao.